Let me be blunt. You could be sitting across from a woman who has already decided you are the one, and you would have absolutely no idea. Most of you are playing a game you don't understand. You are stuck in the weeds. You're analyzing her response times. You're counting how many emojis she used. You're obsessing over whether she laughed at your joke or touched your arm. You are looking for validation. And while you are busy chasing crumbs of validation, you are completely missing the entire loaf of bread sitting right in front of you. You are missing the one signal, the single most critical indicator in female psychology that reveals she has already chosen you. If you miss this signal, you don't just miss a date. You miss the window of opportunity. Because once a woman opens this door, if you don't walk through it correctly, she slams it shut forever. This isn't about pickup lines. It isn't about tricks. It is about recognizing the difference between a woman who is being polite and a woman who is emotionally investing in you. Today, I am going to give you the keys to the kingdom. I'm going to show you exactly what this signal looks like, why 99% of men misinterpret it, and how to respond with the kind of stoic masculinity that seals the deal. But be warned, this requires you to kill the nice guy inside you who just wants to fix everything. Welcome to the truth. Before we get to the signal, we have to talk about the noise. The reason you fail is that you are addicted to false positives. Let's look at the modern dating landscape. It is a marketplace of attention. Women, by nature and social conditioning, are masters of social lubrication. They are agreeable, they smile, they engage. You send a text, she replies instantly. You think she's into me. She laughs at your bad joke. You think I'm in. She agrees to go to dinner. You think she chose me. Wrong. In the early stages, these are not signals of selection. These are signals of exploration, or worse, they are simply mechanisms to extract validation. To a woman, being charming is often a survival mechanism or a way to keep her options open. It costs her nothing to text you back. It costs her nothing to laugh. You need to understand the economic concept of investment. If I give you $1, I don't care if I lose it. If I give you my life savings, I am watching you like a hawk. Surface level signals, touching, smiling. Texting are the dollar bills of dating. She throws them around. But most men are so starved for attention that they treat these dollar bills like life savings. They get excited. They start planning the wedding in their heads. And the moment you overvalue these cheap signals, you lose your frame. You start chasing. You need to stop looking at the surface. You need to look for the risk. What behavior costs her something? What behavior puts her in danger of rejection? What behavior requires her to lower her shield? That brings us to the only signal that matters. Here it is. The Holy Grail. The signal is unprompted early vulnerability. Let's break that down. Unprompted means you didn't ask for it. You didn't say, "Tell me about your childhood." Early means it happens before it logically should. Maybe date 1, date 2, or even the first deep conversation. Vulnerability means she is giving you ammunition that could hurt her. Imagine you are on a second date. Things are light. You're talking about movies. Suddenly, the vibe shifts. She looks down. There is a pause. And she says, "You know, I actually have a really complicated relationship with my father. He wasn't really around. And I think that's why I get so anxious when guys don't text back." Stop right there. Do you see what happened? She just handed you a loaded gun. She told you her insecurity. She told you her daddy issue. She told you exactly how to hurt her. Why would a woman, a creature biologically wired to seek safety and protection, expose her soft underbelly to a man she hardly knows? Because she has intuitively decided that you might be the king of the castle. In female psychology, vulnerability is the highest form of submission. It is not sexual submission, it is emotional submission. She is saying, I feel safe enough with you to show you the parts of me that are broken. Most men miss this because it doesn't look like flirting. It looks like drama. You hear her talking about her ex, or her anxiety, or her family problems, and you think, oh no, she's crazy. Or you think, why is she telling me this? Is she friend zoning me? No. Women do not share deep, dark secrets. With men, they put in the friend zone. With friends, they gossip, they complain about other men, but they do not reveal their own deep-seated inadequacy unless they are auditioning for a role in your life. She is testing you. She is throwing a chaotic wave of emotion at you to see if you are a rock or a sand castle. If you stand firm, you pass. If you crumble or try to fix the wave, you drown. Let's dig deeper into the why. Why early? Why not wait until month 3? Evolutionary psychology gives us the answer. Women have a finite window of fertility and a high cost of reproduction. Choosing the wrong mate is expensive for a woman. She cannot afford to wait 6 months to find out if you are emotionally fragile. So she accelerates the process. Subconsciously, she creates a stress test. By being vulnerable early, she is simulating a crisis. She is checking your emotional containment. Can you hold her chaos without being infected by it? If she says, I'm scared you're going to leave me like the others, she isn't just sharing a fear, she is checking your reaction. If you get defensive and say, I'm not like them, you fail. You are reactive. If you get overly sympathetic and say, oh my God, you poor thing, I promise I'll never hurt you, you fail. You are a pleaser. If you get awkward and change the subject, you fail. You are weak. The only passing grade is stoicism. Not indifference, but controlled strength. She needs to feel that her emotions can crash into you. And you won't break. You won't run. And most importantly, you won't try to save her just to get into her pants. When she shares unprompted vulnerability, she is handing you the leadership role in the relationship. She is stepping back and asking, can you lead us through this emotion? And this is where 99% of men drop the ball. They confuse leadership with fixing. Now, listen closely. Because if you turn off the video now, you are going to go out there, find a crazy woman who uses you as an emotional trash can, and you're going to think she's in love with you. We have to draw a hard line between genuine vulnerability, the signal, and trauma dumping, the red flag. Trauma dumping is when a woman unloads her heavy emotional baggage on you immediately, without checking if you have the capacity to handle it. This is not a sign of investment. This is a sign of narcissism and lack of boundaries. She isn't looking for a partner. She is looking for an unpaid therapist. Or worse, an emotional tampon to absorb her negativity. Here is how you tell the difference. First, look at the delivery, the pause versus the flood. In genuine vulnerability, she hesitates. She might look down. She might say, I don't know why I'm telling you this. I usually don't talk about this. There is a sense of shame or risk. She is checking your reaction because she values your opinion. In trauma dumping, there is no hesitation. She talks at you, not with you. It feels like a monologue. She doesn't care about your reaction. She just wants to vent. Second, look at the content. In genuine vulnerability, it reveals a flaw or a fear about herself. In trauma dumping, it is always about how others wronged her. If she plays the victim in every story, run. Do not confuse a damsel in distress with a woman who creates her own fires just to watch them burn. If she is trauma dumping, you haven't won. You are just the next victim. But if you verify it is genuine vulnerability, if she is exposing her neck to you with humility, then execute the following protocol immediately. When she drops that vulnerability bomb, your instinct will be to fix it. You want to be the hero. You want to say, don't worry, I'll take care of you. Stop. That is nice guy behavior. It kills sexual tension. You need to be the stoic rock, unmovable, safe, but not a doormat. Here is the 3-step formula. Step 1 is to validate. Do not offer a solution. Just acknowledge the weight of what she said. Look her in the eyes. Maintain strong eye contact. Do not flinch. Say something simple like, that sounds heavy. Or I can see why that shaped you. Or I appreciate you sharing that. That's it. You are telling her, I heard you. I am not scared of it, but I am not overwhelmed by it. Step 2 is brief reciprocity. This is crucial. You need to show her you are human, not a robot. But you do not dive into the mud with her. Share a tiny piece of yourself that relates, but keep it high level. If she says, my dad was never around, you can say, yeah, I had to learn some hard lessons on my own too. It makes you independent. See what I did there? I related to her pain, but I immediately reframed it as a strength. I didn't start crying about my own childhood. I built a bridge, then I walked over it. Step 3 is the pivot. This is where you win. You cannot let the date stay in therapy mode. You must lead the interaction back to the present moment and back to fun. Once you have validated and bridged, you change the subject firmly. You say, it makes you independent. But I'm curious because of that. What's the number one thing you look for in a guy now? You took her chaos, absorbed it, and redirected the energy back to us in the future. That is what a leader does. That is what makes a woman feel safe. Let's look at a real world scenario so you can see the difference between a beta response and a high value response. Scenario: you've been seeing a girl for 3 weeks. She looks at you and says, I have really bad trust issues because my last boyfriend cheated on me. The nice guy says, oh my God, he's such a jerk. I would never do that to you. I promise I'm different. You can check my phone whenever you want. That is weak. That is defensive. He is trying to prove himself to a standard he didn't break. He just gave her all the power. The high value man pauses, looks at her calmly, and says, I understand. Trust is something that has to be earned over time. I'm not asking for it blind. Let's just see where this goes. That is powerful. He validates her fear, but he holds his frame. He promises nothing. He is willing to walk away. Before you go, we need to address the elephant in the room. I've given you the tactics. I've given you the protocol, but none of this will work if your internal operating system is corrupted. Why is it so hard for you to just sit there and listen when a woman is vulnerable? Why does your heart race? Why do you feel this overwhelming urge to offer solutions to fix her, to save her? It is not because you are noble. It is not because you are nice. It is because you are anxious. Let's shine a light on the dark truth of the nice guy syndrome. When you rush to fix a woman's problems, you are often engaging in a manipulative transaction called a covert contract. Your subconscious is saying, if I solve her trauma, if I fix her anxiety, if I save her from her bad mood, then she will be happy. And if she is happy, she will validate me. She will love me. She will sleep with me. You are not helping her for her sake. You are helping her to manage your own anxiety about being rejected. You are terrified that if she is sad or upset, she might leave. So you try to fix her emotions to secure your own safety. That is not strength. That is dependence. To truly master this, you must understand the difference between being a thermometer and a thermostat. Most men are thermometers. They reflect the temperature of the room. If she is happy, you are happy. If she is chaotic, you become anxious. If she is sad, you become depressed. You are reactive. You have no center. A high-value man is a thermostat. He sets the temperature. If she brings a storm of chaos into the room, he does not let the storm change his internal weather. He remains at a cool 72 degrees. Eventually, because his frame is stronger, her storm calms down to match his peace. This is what women mean when they say they want a man who can hold space. Holding space doesn't mean sitting there like a stone wall. Ignoring her, it means creating a container of safety where she can feel her emotions without fearing that they will destroy you. Think about it. If she is drowning in the ocean of her emotions and you jump in to save her but you don't know how to swim, you both drown. The only way you save her is by staying on the boat. You throw her a line, validation. You pull her in, reciprocity, but you stay dry. You must cultivate the art of compassionate detachment. This is the hardest pill to swallow. You must care about her, but you must not care about the outcome of the interaction more than you care about your own dignity. When she shares that vulnerability, remind yourself this is her experience. It is not my responsibility to fix it. It is my privilege to witness it. That shift in mindset from fixer to witness changes your entire energy. You stop leaning forward desperately. You lean back, you breathe, you listen. And paradoxically, by doing less, you become infinitely more attractive. She doesn't need a hero to slay her dragons. She needs a man who isn't afraid of them. So, the next time she tests you with vulnerability, don't ask, how do I solve this? Ask yourself, am I strong enough to let this exist without letting it shake me? If the answer is yes, you aren't just winning the date. You are mastering yourself. Gentlemen, let's wrap this up. Dating is not about tricking a woman into liking you. It is about paying attention. Most men are sleepwalking. They are so focused on getting something sex, validation, a girlfriend, that they don't see what is being given to them. When a woman shares her unprompted vulnerability with you, she has handed you the keys. She has chosen you. She is waiting for you to take the wheel. Don't crash the car by becoming her therapist. Don't crash the car by becoming her fan. Be the rock. Validate. Pivot. Lead. If you found value in this, do not keep it to yourself. Share your experience in the comments. What is the craziest test a woman has ever thrown at you early in dating? I read every single one. And if you want to master the rest of female psychology that school didn't teach you, hit that subscribe button. We are building a tribe of men who understand the game. You've already won. Now act like it.